The guy who did the shooting down in New Zealand cited our president in his manifesto.
Yeah, but it's not only hate in New Zealand. We have hate groups here. We have hate leaders, David Duke and others, that see him as their president. Here's a guy that couldn't condemn Nazis, whose bigoted language from the time of the campaign. Talk about it pulling the race card. I mean, he came down that escalator, started talking about Mexicans and Muslims, started talking about the divisions in America.
Is he racist?
He's a guy that...
Is he a racist?
Racist thinks he's racist. And his language hurts people. His language is causing pain, fear. The way he's talking is making people afraid. I was down in Mother Emanuel Church. I have talked to people that are afraid.
South Carolina.
In South Carolina, where there was a hate crime. People were afraid to go worship at a mosque or a synagogue because hate is on the rise, and these hate incidents are on the rise, and we have a president that can't stand up with any moral authority and remind us that when injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And it's despicable.
How do we stop this world market, this global market for hatred because somebody puts somebody down there in 8,000 miles away in New Zealand is on connecting with other people that think and talk like him on the social media? Is there any way that the people that don't believe in that hate can stop the social media from being the traffic for that?
So
anyway,
yes, we're not helpless. We can't surrender to cynicism. That's a toxic spiritual state. I think cynicism is a refuge for cowards. It's not enough to say in America or in the world to say, I'm not a racist. That's not enough. If racism exists, you have to be anti-racist. And those platforms that we have, let's not use them for trivialities, because other people are using their social media platforms to preach hate, that we need to use our social media platforms to preach kindness and decency and to try to revive civic grace. There's a researcher at Stanford that has shown that one act of decency and kindness or love witnessed by others, it actually goes out, it ripples out 2 or 3 degrees of separation.
Yeah. How did President Obama tried to do that, right? Or did he? Enough.
Of course he tried to do it, yeah. And look, we now need more than ever, after this president, more than ever, we need a revival of grace in our country, a revival of civic grace in our civic spaces. And we need this election. That's why I tell Democrats, you can't make this election just about one office and one person, about what we're against. We need to talk about what we're for. Okay. And if we reduce this effort to just being against, we're going to beat Republicans. No, this election has to be about uniting Americans again in common cause and common purpose. Because when I talk to folks in Iowa, I mean, they're right to be angry. Attacks on public education, attacks on labor. Here in this state, the loopholes to get around Davis-Bacon, attacks on farmers. Farmer suicide rates are as high as they've been since the Great Depression. I'm here, just down the street here. You see the rivers rising, historic floods happening year after year after year. All this stuff is happening because we are not seeing with a more courageous empathy the suffering of our neighbors. So we need to have a politics where we say, hey, we've got common cause. We definitely have common pain. But this campaign, this time in American history more than ever, we need to reunite in a common purpose and put more indivisible back into this one nation under God.
Well said. Let me ask you about some of these current debates. Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, took impeachment off the table, at least for now, not to talk about it. Where are you on that?
I'm waiting for the Mueller report. This is another bipartisan effort. Lindsey Graham and I worked together on a bill. Chris Coons Tillis got in to try to protect this council investigation. Let's let him finish his work and then make our determinations after that.
Still ahead, more of my important conversation with 2020 presidential candidate Cory Booker, including whether President Booker would consider pardoning Donald Trump once he got into office. We'll be right back.
You're watching MSNBC International.
Congressman, if the Comey memo turns out to be true, will you call for impeachment?
I have nothing further to add.
Do you stand by your comments that you would call for impeachment?
I have nothing further to add.
Whose word do you trust more, President Trump or former FBI Director James Comey?
I have nothing further to add.
Well, earlier today you said that the president should be impeached if the Comey memo is true. Do you stand by that comment?
I have nothing further to add.
Do you think the president may have obstructed justice?
I have nothing further to add.
Do you still have full confidence in the president?
I have nothing further to add.
Ma, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, there's Mom.
Yay!
Mom's in Colombia.
I am watching in my front yard.
Mom's talking, and there's the president. President Trump leading by example there. He also wearing the glasses.
Oh, my goodness. You can take it off now. That's why I couldn't see with the glasses on.
Ma, thank you. Thanks for giving us that.
You're welcome.
That first-hand account there from Colombia. Tell everybody hello.
You know, it was a day like any other.
What are they doing up this early?
We came around the table with friends and family members, world leaders and world-class thinkers. We had Democrats, Republicans, even one or two with an independent streak. We were there to exchange ideas, have a conversation, and even laugh, just like we've been doing for the past 10 years. So we really want to thank you for making us a part of your morning routine.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.